welcome to Macrothea Builder Worlds. This is the road to salute. Dun dun dun. But before I start the road to salute, which is going to be a series of videos that I'm going to make over 10 weeks between now, 30th of January, and Salute 2025, Salute 52 I think it's called, which is April the 12th. Before I start that, there's something else I'd like to say. On the 1st of January, in the early hours of the 1st of January 2025 this year, the gaming community of South Essex lost a pillar, you might say. A gentleman called Lee Singleton passed away unexpectedly, as far as I was concerned. I think for everybody else who knew him as well. Lee was the owner and runner of Gamers Nexus in Hadley, in South Essex. He used to be based in Raleigh. I'd known Lee for, well, probably 15 years or more. And there are a few people I've met who are more generous with their time, more interested in the whole gaming hobby than Lee. I met him when he first had his store in Raleigh, across the road from Raleigh Station, and I'd drop in there, and it was always this chaotic place of never enough space and trying to fit in too many game systems and things. Lee was mostly, in fairness, a role player and a card player rather than a tabletop player, but his store always welcomed all aspects of the hobby. I was gutted to find out that Lee had passed away. He'll be greatly missed. Personally, he did me some of the greatest favours ever. He provided a safe place for young people who were into gaming. He certainly provided a safe place for my kid when he was on his way home, if he felt threatened or bullied by people who hassled him because Nathan's autistic. And when it was time for Nate to do work experience, whenever that was, Project Trident, when he was 14, 15 or whatever, Lee instantly gave him a place to do work experience, and he worked at the Hadley store, in the store, working with CCGs and that kind of thing. If it hadn't been for Lee, Nathan would never have got into the Magic the Gathering and all kinds of other things as well. So for that, I could never repay him. I know that there are many people who watch these videos who are actually in this part of the world and will know Lee probably a lot better than me and know Gamers Nexus. Gamers Nexus's store is now closed, and that's another loss to the gaming community in this area, especially as Whaling Games is now relocated. So I'd just like to take this moment here on my platform to thank Lee, wherever you are now, mate. Thank you for all you did for us, for the gaming community, for the card gamers, for the role players, for the tabletop gamers of South Essex and all around. Thanks for what you did for me and my kid. We'll miss you, dude. Thank you. This now really is the road to salute. So this series of videos then is the road to salute. It's the 30th of January today. And Salute 52, so that's Salute in 2025, is on April the 12th. Just about 10 weeks away, give or take a day or two. My relationship with Salute is over 20 years old. Now, compared to many people, of course, this year being Salute 52, I'm a mere whippersnapper compared to many other people who run games and play games and have been involved with the South London Warlords running shows. My relationship started, I think, about 2004. We took a Wild West game, Blaze of Glory, game of my own devising, on the tube. Took everything we needed with us on the tube and played in Kensington. Yeah. 2005, we were, which was the last show at Kensington. I think it was Kensington Town Hall. Can't remember. It wasn't Olympia. Could have been Olympia. I can't remember. Yeah, it was Olympia, Kensington Olympia. 2005 was at Kensington Olympia. It was the first time that myself and my friend Pete took our game End of Empire to a big war game show. End of Empire is a Victoriana game, an adventure game, which we were doing before all of the trendy ones like In Her Majesty's Name and that kind of stuff. It went down really well, that game. Actually, it won. I've still got a little thing for it. The Salute Challenger. Hey, look at me, getting all my old trophies out. Runner-up in show, second best game in show. We didn't even know we were too busy playing games. The next year was 2006. 2006 was the first time the show was held at the Excel, and we took a much bigger game of End of Empire because I had somebody around here mentioning no names. Always tends to get big ideas and bigger ideas than he can possibly cope with. But we took End of Empire back in 2006 and we won Best in Show and Best Scenery. It was great. We weren't really setting out to win trophies or wargaming shows, it just kind of happened. 2007, different End of Empire game, even more stuff. Won Best Participation Game. It was really cool. We played End of Empire 2008, 2009. I think we took that was the year we took an Elizabethan game, great big model of Elizabethan England and Kentwell Hall, and played a game called 1588 and all that. Since then I've taken Pirates, French and Indian Wars and different versions of End of Empire, and of course in the last couple of years, Boroughs and Badgers with the guys who I play regularly with now, who have gone under this banner, Magathea Builder Worlds. But as a group, we've kind of like re-adopted the name Spirit of the Game, which is the name that we kind of came up with, that kind of like nailed our colours to the mast about how we like to play games. It's more about having fun and playing in the spirit of the game, not used to sticking to every letter of the rule book and being kind of like rule Nazis. So yeah, we have a lot of fun. Last year we had a great time at Salute. It was super busy. Our table was really busy. We had loads of people, mainly from the B&B community, stop by and say hello. It was terrific. My problem with booking in to Salute is the fact that Salute is a massive wargaming show. At the Excel in London, which is one of the biggest exhibition centres in the country, and I'm sure the planning and the logistics of the show are absolutely huge, and there must be, I know there is, a dedicated team of people at the South London Warlords who plan and prepare the show. It just couldn't happen without it. That means though, the problem is you're planning way in advance as to who's coming. In August, the last summer, I had the emails inviting us to come to the show, and at that point you have to kind of say, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is the game you're going to play. Now, if you're in a big organised club, that's probably not too much difficulty because you're kind of like planning well ahead in advance, and you're the kind of people who take games to shows regularly and you've got a plan. I'm usually a bit of a one-man band when it comes to taking games to shows. My mates come along to support me, and over the years quite a few people have chipped in and helped me finish stuff off because I've often been up the night before painting stuff. But you have to kind of like predict what you want to be doing next year. My original plans have been to take a big Necromunda game, but a couple of things changed my mind. One day I will get my big Necromunda table out and probably take it to a show like Salute, but a couple of things changed my mind. Part of which is the release of the second edition of Boroughs and Badgers, and Spirit of the Game and Magathea Builder Worlds are very much known as friends of Oathsworn Miniatures and the Boroughs and Badgers community, and we thought it would be right and fitting if we were playing B&B at Salute, because that's what Michael Lovejoy is hoping, fingers crossed, it's on schedule at the moment, to release the new edition of the game. I also love playing Just Dread. I really enjoyed building scenery for it this last year. I won't lie, I said painting the figures. Somebody else is painting them for me. Thanks, Simon. But they're absolutely brilliant. And Warlord Games have been very happy to sponsor some of my content, and I thought it'd be cool if we did that there. That then left me a quandary, because that's like Boroughs and Badgers on one hand, Just Dread on the other hand. Already proved to be a bit of a headache, to be quite honest. And then I sat back and thought, I'd like to do something a bit different at Salute. How can we make it different? How can we make it interesting and engaging? One of the problems with playing games at Salute is the fact that there are thousands of people who visit during the day. I can't remember how many people go, somewhere between 5,000 and 8,000 people on the show. We have a big table. The problem, of course, with most war games is the fact that they are pretty flat. They're quite flat. Every now and then you see something quite impressive, but most of the time they're quite flat. And my gaming table last year, what with the 8 guys who came with me or were there one way or another supporting the game, thanks fellas, and then the enormous number of people who play games with us, and more to the point, even more people stand around, taking photographs, all the rest of it. It was 2 or 3 people deep at our gaming table most of the day, which made it really, really difficult for people just walking by to get an idea of what's going on. It's very tricky. Vertical games, height on a gaming table, a show like that is super crucial. Height in skirmish games is quite interesting anyway. Both the games we're talking about here, Burrows and Badgers and Judge Dredd, certainly in kind of like, from a meta point of view, lend the idea of verticality, right? Most Burrows and Badgers games, I don't know, it's a bit of a misnomer really, right? Because not many games are played in burrows. Most games are kind of like played in the open air, in fields and streets of towns and that kind of thing. I wanted to do something about that. And Mega City 1, again, vast numbers of Judge Dredd games I've seen are played out on the street on flat surfaces with some obstacles. They look cool, but not really very dready. So I wondered how we could kind of like portray the burrows of Burrows and Badgers and the blocks of Mega City 1. And I came up with a plan. Now what you're about to see next is just a brief moment or two of me on the evening when we filmed our thoughts about pet peeves for wargaming and that kind of thing. Go and have a look at that video. Me trying to explain to the guys of my gaming group what I had in mind. This is genuine footage, filmed by Ted. And what you really need to do is, well, I mean, kind of try and get your head around what the big hairy nutter is doing with really useful crates, trying to explain. But then at the end of this clip, just check out the bemused faces of my friends and you'll get an idea of how mad they actually think I am. And then I'll actually explain what we're doing.
You guys watching YouTube, and it's a really sensible man sitting in his shed. This is the real Magrathea.
So we have a unit over here. Right, so this is B&B. Right, we've got sewers and stuff and cave down there. Right, sewers is mostly for show, and the game is going to be played in the cave down the bottom, and we'll extend the gaming area out onto the table. Okay, so some of it happens inside, but the rest of it happens out here in front of us, right? And then over on this one, on the top, we've got end of city wall brewery. Under here, subterranean brewery going on there, and the fight goes on there. And I'll come up with a way of extending this table out, so you're playing at this kind of height. And then that down there is essentially rocks and caves and shit like that, but isn't really part of kind of the thing. Yeah, does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So essentially, if you're playing the game here, if you're playing it at this height with that bit in there, and there's of course, the idea is to go up on the table. So how do you solve a problem like verticality in games? You either have to build stuff really tall, which takes a lot of building, and often that kind of model is kind of vulnerable to being knocked around, or you have to come up with another kind of solution. The other problem, of course, is the fact that burrows, in Burrows and Badgers, they go down, they go into the ground, and again, that's pretty tricky when you want vertical different levels. I have made a kind of like a dungeon crawler set of scenery for sewer games for B&B, but they're still all on one level on the whole. They're just, you know, underground and little tunnels. What I want is a game where you can see that verticality. I want a game that when people arrive at Salute, they can see over the heads of a lot of the players, they can still see stuff that's going on the tables. And I want a game that exaggerates, accentuates the kind of like the different levels. So yeah, I had a thought about this, and yeah, this is the solution. Yeah, hang on. Have to move the chair out of the way. Notice no solution there right now. Hang on though, because as if by magic. Jeez, wet these are. Ta-da! This is my solution. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. That's one of them kind of cube unit things from Homebase or IKEA, isn't it? Yes, it is actually. It's a 2x2 kind of thing with, it's about 76 centimetres tall in all, and the bits inside are 33 centimetres across, a bit deeper than that and stuff. And this is the plan, you see. I'm going to build, in the next 10 weeks, shit, it's 10 weeks now, because now I started filming yesterday on the 30th. It's 31st today now. Yeah, literally 10 weeks tomorrow is Salute, and I'm going to build scenery in 4 of these units so we can have vertical games. Yeah, 2 B&B ones and 2 Judge Dredd ones. So my group, we're going to be running Judge Dredd and Burrows and Badgers on our table at the same time at Salute, just on different sides of the table. And we can achieve that because a lot of the game is going to be in these vertical bits and then bits sticking out from it, so we've got more playing space. So yeah, you might think I'm bonkers, and frankly so did the guys. Yes, they did. Yeah. And there are times when I think I'm completely nuts as well, but actually bear with, there are going to be some pretty cool solutions here. Apart from anything else, I could take most of the game. It's going to be kind of like, we're going to make sleeves that go inside these units that the scenery are going. It doesn't have to go all the way to the back because that's actually too deep to get into to play. So some of these, they're only going to be half depth. And it does actually mean that we can transport a lot of the scenery to the show pretty much ready set up because they're going to be in these. And it's not even a ridiculously, stupidly expensive plan either when you think about it. I've spent over the years, God knows how much money on wargaming tables, right, and the actual surfaces you play on. You can spend a huge amount of money on it. And in fact, one of these, I bought these from Homebase, granted they're closing down, but there was a bit of a discount, but these things are about 35 quid each. They probably cost less than that if you buy the IKEA ones, don't know. But actually, so 4 of these from Homebase cost me £120. And actually, that's not an enormous amount of money when you think about how much you spend on your wargaming tables. So I'm going to be able to use them for different things. I have future plans with these in mind, and these will just stack up. Fortunately, I've got space in a container where or my garage when they're not being used, where they'll stack. And I'm going to try and make the sleeves kind of cunningly so they'll fit into large, really useful crates, so I can take Sci-Fi ones out or Mega City 1 ones out and stick them into the crates and see how we go. So the first thing I need to do to see if this is going to work, having had a long conversation with my mate Gary about it earlier this week, is to make some foam core sleeves, boxes if you like, out of foam core, that are going to fit into these units. So this Road to Salute series is going to be me flitting backwards and forwards, alternating between making Dread scenery to go in these things and Burrows and Badger scenery to go in these things. I have done some sketches. Look, actually, check it out. This is, we'll have a proper look at that. This is one of the B&B ones, and this is the other B&B stack that I've got in mind, and this is. Well, I started coming up with a rough one for Mega City 1 and I can't stop. But so I'm going to make a start. I'm going to make a start with Burrows and Badgers first, after I've built the sleeves that go in these. Now, they're not going to take a great deal of building, a bit of measuring, a bit of straight cutting with foam core. I'm going to stick them back together. And when I've done that and I can slot them in, I'll come back to you and I'll show you what I've got. And then we're going to get on with making bits to actually go inside them, to actually start this. I am also got other things to make and consider. I'm going to make the odd structure to go on the top. Most of stuff that's going to go up here, he says, is stuff that I've already got made. So B&B is going to be, this is going to be street level in London, so it's going to be a lot of my B&B models on the top anyway. I am going to build the odd extra models to go up there because they're going to feature what's going on underneath. But actually, a lot of that is already made. Mega City 1, the plan is probably to have my monorail, and I'll have to make some more track for it, going across the top. And then we're going to have car park levels and hab zones and bits and pieces. What I haven't done is I haven't tried to see if the stuff that I already made for Mega City 1 is going to fit in very well, or whether I'm going to have to make specific stuff for it. But some of it is just going to be kind of like backdrops. We're going to have shopping plazas, and we're going to have a fight in Mega City 1 in a car park, a vehicle park in Jimmy Kimmel block. and on the other side we're going to have a fight in a cavern well down underneath London, and in a brewery in the basement, the cellars of a great big brew house with barrels and vats and that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's quite a lot to be getting on with. So do please stick with me while I do this project, because you need to let me know if you think I am as mental as all my mates think I am. But we got 10 weeks, so we're going to give it a go. In all the years, the 20 plus years I've been taking games to Salute, I've yet to mess it up and not take a game when I said I was going to. And 2025 is not going to be the first year where I kind of like, not going to be the first year where I fail to take what I said I was going to take. So this is going to take some building, but stick with me. Here we go. Let's go and make those phone call sleeves. Yeah, I know. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. So I'm a bit bonkers, but apologies to everybody who's going to be involved with me when I'm kind of like getting closer to the actual show and a lot of swearing takes place. Fortunately, I haven't got much on in the way of work in March this year because it's going to get busy. Okay. Moved inside this evening. Everybody else is out, and I'm going to watch some TV. I'm going to watch The Mandalorian, or finish watching Skeleton Crew while I get on with this. First thing we need to do is have a good accurate measurement of the inside of these cubes. So they are 33.5 centimetres wide by, should be a cube, 33.5 centimetres tall. So I've got to make sleeves at 33.5 by 33.5 centimetres. Yeah, no money, it's just over 13 inches. And I don't need to make them so they go all the way back into this unit, because when we're playing on a table, these are going to be in the middle of the table. There's going to be probably another 33 centimetres sticking out. It's going to be too deep to have to reach all the way in. So most of these are probably only going to be about 20 centimetre deep boxes, which will also save on the phone call. So there's going to be space behind each one, which actually is going to leave some space for some goodies, for some shiny ideas. So that's what we're going to do first of all. So up here, handily, while I'm working in the living room, I can actually use the top of it. So I've got a cutting board. I've got sheets of 5mm foam core. I'm going to measure out my units, 33 centimetres, work it out, stick it in, and in the next little while, hopefully, we're going to have boxes that go inside these things. That is what I'm going to build the scenery inside. Yes, I am. Although right now I can't actually remember what I need. I'm going to start off with by just making some standard boxes of fit in these things. That's what we're going to do. So we need a ruler, pen, sharp knife blades. No spare blades. Here we go. It's taller than I am, which is a pain in the arse. Might have to find some cushions. Okay, boxes made. Well, for the first lot, let's just pull these out here. As you can see, they're quite tight. Let's just, and they need to be, because I don't want much of a gaps. There you go. It's a white foam core box. 34.5 millimeters, 34.5 centimeters is the gap. So these are 34. I mean, they're about 3 or 4 mils, just smaller than the actual hole. This one, let's find that one there. I mean, these are all different size depths, so look, they slot in quite nicely. Some fit, well, some really tight. There's a bugger up there. Yeah, we'll need pushing out from the back, I should think. This one maybe is a bit looser. This is the deepest, and even so, this is kind of cool because I'm hoping that these are just going to slot into a really useful crate. This one, practically the only rule I appear to have around is a metre rule, no tape measure. Okay then, so this one is 24.5 centimetres deep. So there's actually plenty of room inside this one. This could have quite a sizable bit of model going here. This is for the B&B side of things. This one up here, which I'm not even going to bother trying to pull out, is 20 centimetres deep. The one I just had out a moment ago, 12.5 centimetres deep. What's that in old money? That's 5 inches. And 4 inches, 12 centimetres ish. And then this one here, come on. Hang on. Fuck's sake. Oh no, I can't get it here. And this is the smallest box. This one is only 10 centimetres deep, it's 4 inches. Now the point of this is that these different boxes are going to have different bits of training. When I go to my sketches, so for example, this I've got in mind probably being this sketch, which is underneath a brewery, and then down under here just some caves and some kind of like warrens. Or I might actually turn this one into the cellars of the Sun and Splendour Inn, which I've already have, of course, and then sewers underneath it, and then dungeons underneath the watchtower, and then down here caves. If that's going to happen, actually I'll probably turn around, because some of these for the show aren't necessarily going to be playable spaces. There's no point making these boxes not being playable spaces, but some of them are only literally kind of like a sewer with a walkway. Now, how these actually work out compared to the sketches that I've just shown you from a B&B point of view, I'm not quite sure yet, purely because actually the sketches I drew were just a whimsical drawing, just something I kind of like came up off the top of my head, whereas actually now when you make them and start measuring them, it might be a little different. So for example, this is a beaver. Do you know what? I don't actually know why I've got this beaver. I say that because I've got at least 2 versions of this beaver straight out of the thing, and another one that I've converted. And I bought this one, must have had a conversion job in mind, but I can't remember what it is. I have taken his symbol off his shield, that's as far as I got. Anyway, I digress. A beaver is a massive beast in Burrows and Badgers. And if we place him on a shelf, let's bring the camera over here. You can see that there's an awful lot of space. Teeny tiny beaver. So, how I actually worked these out. My original plan for some of these was to not include this central support as well, but that of course makes a difference to the structural integrity of the unit. So I'm probably going to leave this in, and we'll just have to kind of like imagine our way through a tunnel here. So if this top pair here is going to be that sewers and cellar under the pub, then I'm going to need a middle layer in here anyway, because that could be like sewers there, sewers, and then pub and dungeons. But I also want caverns here. So what I now need to do is make another set of these for the B&B thing, so I can start working through them from that point of view. Now then, the really cool thing is that I'm also, of course, using 2 of these units for Judge Dredd games. There's some serendipitous news when I get around to talking about the Judge Dredd stuff, which is going to make my whole project an awful lot easier, which is fortunate really, because right now it's now Thursday. I started making this video on Saturday and I've only got this far. Work has kind of like got in the way. Work and distractions. Let me just show you work and distractions just so you get an idea. So work, at the minute. Partly I'm working. It looks like lots of different things. That's the nature of my job. And making TV programs and stuff. I'm writing a science fiction writing project for primary schools at the moment. So work includes 4-inch tool, could even be 5-inch tool figures, resin printed and being painted, resin designed on Hero Forge. So it's not bad when my work looks like this. Look, check it out. This is work. It's not bad. Look at them. Look at that. They're really cool. And then of course other modelling projects also kind of get in the way. They shouldn't. But my ADHD brain, I just find it difficult concentrating on one thing at all. So this is currently in progress as well. I'd love to claim I made this. Of course I haven't. Many of you will know that this is a tabletop world model. I bought a whole load of tabletop world models some time ago. They're beautiful, beautiful things. Absolute works of art. And I always fancied them. When my mother passed away, I inherited a bunch of money, and one of the things I did was I went and bought a load of tabletop world scenery, which then sat in a box behind me for ages. Because actually, apart from anything else, they're gorgeous models, but they don't really suit the size of some of the games I play. So, for example, if you take Tabletop World Tavern and take Oathsworn Beaver, it's bloody massive. These are like really proper true 25mm, which is great because if I get these painted, I do now have enough figures to play the whole of the Scouring of the Shire campaign in the Middle-earth strategy battle game, which I'm definitely going to do. I'm definitely going to start off. It starts off in Brie, which is why I'm painting those. I'm having those for human buildings for Middle-earth games. And then, I'm going to build a bunch of Shire terrain, and I'm going to play the Scouring the Shire campaign. There will be battle reports, but not before Salute. So get off the distractions, get on with the cardboard boxes. My next mission is to order a bunch of XPS foam from the 4D model shop, modelshop.co.uk, because I need to start filling in some of these spaces. It's going to be kind of cool. So that's what I'm going to do next. So do you know what? I think I'm probably going to end this video here. Why not? You know, it doesn't do any harm to make a short video every now and then, because the next video then it will be when the XPS foam has arrived and we can get on with actually building stuff inside these things, because that's what I've got to get my head around this weekend. Crack on, Tim, because now we're only about 9 weeks away from Salute, and and I'm away for 9 days of that while I'm working at Stonehenge. Oh, and then I'm away for 4 days because my wife has very sweetly bought me an away break in Spain for 4 days in March as well as a birthday present. So that's taken 13 days out of my remaining 9 weeks. Oh crap! I better pull my finger out. So make sure that you stick with this project. It's gonna have all sorts of different things as we go. For Burrows and Badgers and for Warlord Games Judge Dredd, I'm going to be building stuff with both things as we go along. I'm going to involve various friends of mine as we go, especially as we get closer to the project. The guys are going to learn how to play Judge Dredd because they don't know how to play it yet, but we will be playing it at Salute. And we're going to have to learn how to play the new version of Burrows and Badgers, because of course the plan is for Michael Lovejoy and Oathsworn Miniatures to be launching Burrows and Badgers Edition 2 at Salute as well, and we want to be using those rules. That's the whole point of doing this. So I hope you stick around with that. I've got to make buildings to go on the top. I've got to make stuff to go inside. We've got a number of issues and solutions that we've got to come up with as we go. I'm probably going to have to make a review, hopefully, fingers crossed, of the new B&B rule book as well before Salute. I'd like to get that done before Salute. Haven't got a copy yet because, you know, it's not published yet, it's not printed yet, but watch this space, people, because that's going to happen on Magathea Builder Worlds as well. So there's an awful lot of content to make in 9 weeks, and less 13 days. Crap, that makes actually about 7 weeks. Excellent. Well, so to make sure you don't miss any of the videos that are actually going to come along here and see how this progresses, I've never failed to get to actually produce what I said I'm going to before Salute. Damn well going to make sure that Salute 52 isn't the first show that happens at either. So we've always got there. It's going to get a bit mental in the next 7 weeks, so make sure you, if you haven't already, click like and subscribe, and you know, do the little bell thing. Is that what happens? It gives you a little notification, tell you there's a new thing. That's definitely how it's going to go. Leave comments down below if you think I'm completely bonkers. Please, kind of like, you know, comment, because if you think it's a completely sensible and practical project to be indulging myself in, go for that as well. If you've got any ideas and things you think I should include, hey, I'm all up for all ideas. Can't say I'm going to use them all because I've got so many ideas anyway, but we'll see how we go. Anyway, thanks very much for watching this whimsical start to a new series on Magrathea Builder Worlds. I'll see you again.